The pain's gone.
It's completely healed. I don't understand. What did you do?
I don't know. It was instinct. I just touched him.
Then you're immediately like, well, so why didn't the lasers work on the door? And then the next scene, like, you see that, like, that whole mountaintop is gone.
But we're not hooking them up to a machine to...
We're not draining their life energy to keep the planet running. Yes. And Kirk's like, hold on a minute.
Yes, this is Kirk.
I either wait for the Federation or I send out a distress signal, and anybody who comes to this planet, I eat them. I eat them.
Riker had to be, like, over the top and cliche in his, like, actions for the casino.
Do you see it, Enterprise? Do you see it, Enterprise? Sorrow, cry for the children. First and last, first and last, first and last. Delicious.
All Sarek does is goes like this. And
Yeah, he knocks his hand away.
And then the Tellarite's like, Kirk literally, he looks at him and he goes like this.
Program complete. Enter when ready.
Welcome back to another Retrek review, where each week we talk about Star Trek. And this week we're talking about episode 25 of season 3 of Star Trek The Next Generation. And that episode is entitled Transfigurations. It originally aired June 4th, 1990. It was written by Rene Echevarria. He had previously wrote for Next Generation with the episode The Offspring. It was directed by Tom Benko, first-time director for the series. The synopsis for Transfigurations is the Enterprise rescues a critically injured amnesiac who is undergoing a mysterious transformation. So that is the introduction to the episode. But before we move on to supporters, subscribers, and patrons of the podcast, let's move on over to Caleb and ask Caleb, what did he think of the episode?
I like this episode.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
I'm gonna give it I'll give it a 2, a Cuda.
Very nice.
That seems right.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, what's funny is going into it, I was always like, oh boy. Not like it's a bad episode, just like, it's just kind of a drag. It's one of those, like, dragged out, boring episodes, but after a subsequent rewatch for myself, I was like, oh, no, this isn't. Like, it's not one of my top favorites, but it's really isn't that bad as I remembered. So
when you're watching them in order, and you watched Menage a Troy last week, this episode's like a 5 easy.
I agree.
Yeah, I like the story overall. I thought it was interesting. I thought like a lot of stuff that was happening was cool. It felt like it could have been a TOS episode.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And that's why I liked it.
Yeah, well, good. Then it'll be a fun review, and yeah, we'll get to tackle all those points. But before we move into our review of this episode, let's first, right off the bat, come over here and go like, yeah. And we thank Ed Markstar and Captain Olimar for their Patreon support. We appreciate those fellows keeping us afloat, making us look good on the internet. And as a privilege of being a Patreon patron of the podcast, they get the privilege of having their comments read during the podcast. And we have a review from Ed Markstar on the episode The Most Toys. He goes on to state, excellent analysis for The Most Toys. Here we are, 3 seasons in, with the crew of The Next Generation, and we end the episode questioning Data's defending himself? Kivas Fajo has deceived Starfleet and the Enterprise by staging a fake planetary crisis, and follows that by kidnapping a Starfleet officer. The question for Commander Riker: how bad does this situation have to get to warrant self-defense? And this highlights a great discussion by the Daystrom Holodeck surrounding the most toys. Yeah, it's a thing where I think we kind of talked about it in that episode where for like viewers and stuff, the characters have to be like, what do you mean there's a gun in transit? What do you mean that it was just charged? Why do you
Yeah.
have that in your hand, Data? And it's all these things, but it's like
Hmm.
for the rest of us who are just following it as a show, we're not doing this big meta game where it's like the characters have to think about the audience. It's not really surprising that like Data did that, that Data would want to do that, that I don't know. Just an interesting dilemma that they present. It's like, oh, should he have done it? I don't know. But is it bad that he did it? Probably not.
Yeah. It's interesting that he lies about it. That's the only thing that was interesting to me.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Like
Yeah,
the dilemma of it, I mean,
it is what it is, right? Yeah.
I'm pretty usually black or white when it comes to that stuff, but yeah. No, the dilemma is like, why didn't he just say like, yeah, I was about to kill him because he was a
Yeah.
bad dude.
Yeah, and that's probably down to the fact, like what they said in trivia, that like producers didn't want it to be like that. They wanted it to be more ambiguous. Like, did he do it?
He did.
The way I look at it is if the person who wrote it and the actor who played him said he absolutely did, then that's what you go with.
Yeah, and you don't really question if he pulled the trigger when O'Brien says there's a phaser in, it's been blasted, but I like got rid of it.
Right.
So he did. He did pull the trigger then, is what you're saying. So you said he did. So then don't be like, so did he? Yes, because you wrote that he did. So
Ed concludes the story of Data being kidnapped is interesting, but this episode adds too many strange or odd elements. The result is an uneven story that feels like it needs more refinement. As for my rating of The Most Toys, the weaknesses in this story knocks this episode down to one Akuda, in my opinion. It's one of my favorite Data episodes. Just because I don't know, Kivas Fajo is like terrible and he's fun to hate, and you like you said, it introduces an interesting quandary at the end of the episode with Data, and it's mostly the fact that like why does he lie? You brought up a lot of good points when we were watching it. My disillusioned eyes were like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That would make sense. That why would he do that? And yeah, so I don't know. I don't think when I went into it, I don't think I would have rated it 3 Akudas. I probably, after our review, would have been a 2. So I think we all kind of ride in a similar lane with it.
yeah, it's a fun episode.
Yeah. So since he was the only one to leave us an analysis on the episode so far, we'll just do it now. He leaves us a popcorn award, and he gives that to Brett Spiner. Brett Spiner, he says, is outstanding as Lieutenant Commander Data as he reacts to an awful and dangerous situation. The idea of being kidnapped by an alien makes my skin crawl. Yeah, very good.
Especially ones that look like humans.
That's right.
Oh no,
Cats
he's got a weird alien hat.
and a little alien upper lip and a face tattoo.
His biology is so different from my. I'm scared.
So Ed has given us the popcorn award for Brett Spiner. So Caleb, who does get the popcorn award for being the best actor of the episode of The Most Toys?
I think that it's definitely Brett.
Yeah. There is something about him, and to me, I feel like Brett Spiner and Leonard Nimoy never wanted to be typecasted as Spock and Data. That they wanted to be known for just being a good actor.
Yeah.
But the thing that I appreciate with both of those gentlemen is not for 1 second did they ever not give 110% with their characters.
Yeah.
They're always believable. They always make you believe that this Vulcan person or this android person are real. And I don't know, just the acting is so good that Data becomes just as iconic as Spock. I always enjoy Brett Spiner's acting.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Brett is like you forget sometimes that he's just like a human actor.
Yeah, right. He's just some guy. I know. It's funny.
Yeah, they're very good, I like it.
Yeah. Well, hey, those were our comments from our Patreons. We appreciate both Ed and Captain leaving us reviews. And if you'd like to leave us a review that you'd like to hear us read on during the podcast and talk about it, you can always head on over to Patreon yourself. But if that's not for you and you're a subscriber here on YouTube with us, thank you for subscribing. We appreciate you sticking it with us and making it a part of your subscription page. And so, without any further ado, let's get straight into the review. So we open up in 10 forward. I immediately was like, oh man, it's the girl from Geordie's beach date.
Yeah, I was like, I recognize her, but I don't know why.
So this is our first guest appearance of the episode, Julie Warner, currently 61 years old. She's a character actor. She's probably one of the roles that she's played in is notably Michelle Brock in the movie Tommy Boy. So she's Chris Farley's
Okay.
love interest
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
movie.
yeah. Wow. Yeah.
But she's also in the episode Booby Trap, where Jordy's sitting on the beach. He has like the hologram guy playing music behind her. And then
Yeah.
she's like, no thanks, Jordy. And then like leaves. And then that leads to the Leah Brahms stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's already been in the show as this character, which is
It's
interesting.
weird. Based on this episode, like that whole interaction is kind of weird to me now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's very strange for her to be like, for him to be like, hey, and she's like,
Like,
oh, this was just a friend thing. I didn't know we were like on a date.
yeah, and now she's like, doesn't understand why he's not like hitting on her and asking her out. Oh,
Yep.
Jordy, I didn't think that you like did like stuff other than work.
I
It's
don't
cool.
know. I don't know.
It's good writing.
Probably the best rating.
It's really good writing when you don't remember what characters did stuff, and then
Yeah.
I like it.
But the scene at the bar with Worf and Jordy is very good. It's
It
very,
is, yeah.
very amusing to me, and I enjoy Worf's line, I have much to teach you about women.
Yeah, Worf is great this episode.
The thing is, and it was the thing we had talked about with Sarek, the episode of Sarek, like, will Picard play a more, like, reserved character going forward because of mind melding with Sarek? And you had brought out that, like, the only way that'll happen is if Patrick Stewart decides to make it a thing.
Yeah. And it might be so subtle that it's almost like it's not even doing it.
That's right.
I
So
didn't pick up on anything in this
No,
episode, but
same. Yeah, me either. But the thing I wonder is, what ends up happening to Geordi in the episode. I wonder if that will carry forward.
him being like confident and
Yeah, I know that like happens here after the musical intro, and like we don't really deal with it until the end. But my point of bringing it up now is like when she's talking to him at the bar and saying things like, even for me, and knowing like this is all scripted and LeVar Burton's just a great actor, it's like it was
Mhm.
it was rough to watch because it's just like,
It's over the top.
yeah,
It's over the top. I don't know. That stuff annoys me because it's like it's obviously for the plot of the
hmm
episode. But it's like so you have Jordy confronting Barkley
hmm
about being this like whiny, scared,
always late and blah blah blah. Yeah,
and yeah, and obviously Jordy asked this girl out on a date already.
right.
And now all of a sudden it's just like, oh, I can't even talk to women. I'm so
Yeah,
scared to talk to girls. It's like, what are we doing? I don't understand.
I can get behind
It's like
that.
you're making Jordy a weak character just because the plot needs him to be.
You're right.
I don't like that. It's just weird. It's just like a 180 for the character because reasons.
At least the only thing I could say is at least they have tried a little bit to present the idea that he is bad with dating.
Yeah, I guess.
Because that's kind of the point in
Booby trap.
he likes her, she rejects him, and then like he like falls in love with the holodeck character. So it's
Right.
sort of
but he asked her out. He had the confidence to ask her out and set up that whole date, and he was the one doing all the talking on the date, and she
True.
didn't say anything. And then now it's like, oh, I don't know. Hey, how's work going? He's like, that's good. It's like, okay, why is he like this? I don't understand.
Because he's so hard in love with her.
Yeah,
He
because
wants to
she's
go out with her, but she won't talk to him, and now she finally is.
it's weak. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the cool thing is we go from that 10 forward scene, and because he's called, and they're all walking down the hallway, and it's like, oh, that we found this thing, and you're like, okay, because I don't remember any of this episode, so my assumption was they were going to round the bend and come into the transporter room and be like, oh wow, alien, cool, he's hurt.
Yeah, it's like Jordy gets called away like there's like an emergency in engineering, and they're like, all right, so phasers, and we're beaming down. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and so when we get that shot of them like on a mountainous planet kind of thing, I was like, wow. Like not only a scene not just in the transporter room just to make it easier, but it's like it's an
Yeah.
off-planet set thing, then you get a wreckage site with all these different things, and then you look at the guy and it's like he has a pretty decent head injury prosthetic. Like you can see
Yeah.
his molars and like his brain. And I was just like, all right. We went pretty big for this one, not just
So it can be done.
right, exactly.
That's what I think about every time like something new in the show, just like, oh, okay, so you can do it. You can make it good. Got it. They
So
just refuse.
I think the two, let's just talk about it now. The two things that was like one is like a big long term thing that happens in the episode, but we see it here is the healing little like wisp going into Geordie's like head. And here's my caveat about that. I won't talk about it right now, but other things happen in the episode that this individual does for people. It makes the wispy thing going into Geordie's head makes it seem like confidence is just a like
Yeah.
physical defect of the brain.
In this universe, it is.
In this universe, yeah. And I was like, okay, like I get it. It's a fun thing. And, I'm sure there's some sort of mumbo jumbo that somebody could say because he's using brain waves to keep the guy alive, that somehow his like brain waves are healed. And there's some sort of neuron thing that you could explain that makes him feel different in the brain. But it was a thing when it first happened. I was like, oh, and then as the show went on, I was like, oh, wait, that thing in the beginning doesn't make any sense. But I don't know. It wasn't like a huge hang up. I just was like, huh.
Yeah. No, see, that's funny because like I didn't really even like I didn't really think about that like being a thing, like
Yeah,
you're saying, like scientifically.
right.
It was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it
Mm,
totally is just a who cares kind of a thing.
But it's an interesting concept, like you're saying. That implies that it's like a brain injury
Right. Right.
because he
Exactly.
heals people,
Right.
but he can also teleport people. So maybe it's not
Well,
necessarily a healing thing.
yeah, at the end we're gonna have lots to discuss, but it's
But
okay.
so here's the funny thing is I honed in on this scene and I thought it was weird too, but it was for a different reason.
Okay, yep,
It's because she's like, he can't be transported. He's too bad off to go through the transportation. And you're like, okay, I
right,
get that.
sure,
And
right,
then
yeah.
she's like, well, we'll just transfer all of his memory and brain into your brain. And then you can go, and then we'll just download it back to his brain. It's like, okay, so that technology exists now? It's like,
So that's a good point. I didn't interpret it as that. What I thought she was doing was using Jordy's brainwaves and his like the regulation of his brain, like all of that stuff. She was using his life support essentially to keep him alive.
okay, yeah.
Rather than like a download of his mind into Jordy's mind, it was more of like a jump start. Like you hook up these cables to this car battery and then you take them and you put them onto another one, and then it's like you use the other battery's juice to start this one. That's how I interpreted it.
Okay.
Just
Yeah, that makes more sense.
like
So, yeah.
okay.
And at this point of me watching it, I obviously I didn't realize that the yellow light thing
Yeah,
was
yeah,
not like just the medical stuff happening.
true. Because she doesn't like
S-
super react to it too much, right?
Yeah, and he's just like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Like he's
Like this was supposed to happen, right?
yeah, like he's downloaded his brain. I don't know. So I guess that makes sense. I didn't even come back around to that at the end of the episode because I didn't think about it till just now.
Yeah, I
But I
mean,
guess that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. She calls it when she's like talking to him, she calls it a nervous system adapter for the tricorder.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I think it's just like a stabilizer for his brain. But the thing that was also funny with this was so he is like completely gashed open on the side of his head, this alien, and she just adheres like the thing right onto the open wound. And I was like, why would you not put it on the front of his head like you do Jordy? Like you don't put it over here too. It was so funny.
She should have put it on his like eyes, his bad eyes.
Right.
Like it has to be on the wound. It's the only way for the neural link to transfer.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. It does totally play out in the beginning, at least it did for me, that like the orange wispy thing going into him is like that man's consciousness, and then he's like, no, I like that scene you always have in all these sci-fi things where it's like
Yeah.
you're like, hey, are you okay, John? And he's like, oh, um, yes, I am totally fine. And you're like, oh no, some aliens inside of him.
Yeah. It's so man, so when we're at this point of the episode, I was not thrilled.
Okay, fair enough.
Because that's exactly what I was expecting. It's like, so they set up the whole Jordy can't talk to girls thing. I'm like, all right, got it.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, okay, so now this, whatever, even if it was how I originally thought, like medically they were putting this
Hmm.
guy's like thought pattern in Jordy's brain for like storage.
Right,
It's like,
right.
okay. And the episode's called Transfiguration or whatever.
Right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, all right, so Jordy's gonna have this unknown alien entity in him, and he's gonna be all suave and going around and flirting with all the girls, and they're gonna be like, something is weird with Jordy, but I don't know what. I don't know when it would have started. How could it be? And that's what I was waiting for this whole episode. And then when it wasn't, I was like, okay, this is great. I'm glad that it's not that.
It's not this. Yeah, yeah, totally.
Because, like, my God, how many times have we seen
Yep.
that? I've seen that a lot in Star
Oh,
Trek.
oh, tons of times. Tons of times.
I hate that. I think that's one of my most hated tropes in Star Trek, honestly,
Mm. Hmm.
is the alien entity in a person that's friends with everybody, and then everyone's just like accepting that he's very weird, very strange. Oh, well, I
Yeah,
don't know what's happening with the captain today.
yeah.
He's
That
not
was
acting like himself. Like,
that is a favorite of the franchise.
well, it's easy writing, you know?
Yep.
I don't like it. I really don't. I really don't like it.
Yeah. I'm just like thinking to myself, how many more episodes where that like exact scenario
Oh
takes
man.
place?
Well, I've happened to Picard 3 times already in three
Right.
seasons. It happened to Kirk every other episode.
Yeah. I think it's a way to, like you're saying, not only is it a very easy thing to write to, but I think it also allows the actor that's being altered to play differently. Like now
Right.
you get to
Yeah.
be a crazy person, or you get to be like Kirk gets to play a woman, right? It's like it's
I like that episode. I think that's a little different because that's like an I don't know. I don't know. I think that's better written for sure, that episode. But
sure,
I
sure, yeah.
definitely think that storyline specifically belongs in TOS. It's that era of writing.
Yeah,
But now next gen, it's like, all right, come up with some new material. I mean, this is
yeah.
this is a
And they're
whole different franchise. Let's not do the captain possessed by an alien every week.
definitely.
But that's just me, you know. And I didn't even realize that I hated it as much as I do until I started talking about it.
Well, hey, no, that's I totally understand. So we go through the musical intro, we come out, we see our first guest or our second guest appearance of the episode, Patty Tippo, currently alive at 66. She's a character
Nice.
actor. She plays Nurse Temple in the scene.
Oh
We
yeah.
we did technically see the other guest appearance, but we won't mention who he is right now because he doesn't talk.
What about Geordie? Can we take Geordie out of life support room now?
Yes,
Beverly,
exactly.
please.
Exactly.
We were supposed to go to the beach.
So
As soon as he
they
came on board, he was like really flirting with me and stuff.
So the interesting bit that like when now this guy, this alien's in the med bay, like not only is his uniform all torn up and his face is all nasty, but like he's legitimately missing an arm.
Oh, I may have looked away at that moment. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. I don't know for sure, but I feel like they must have put an actor who was missing an arm laying there on the bed for certain angles or something. They kind of make a small reference to it, but at the same time, I don't think they really comment on the fact that like he regrows his arm.
No, they definitely didn't talk about it because I didn't pick up on it at all.
Right. She says something about like putting things in storage. And so I think perhaps it means like they put his arm in storage and then when he's able to, they like reattach the arm or something. I really don't know, but it was
Oh, okay.
interesting.
That's
But
even weirder than the brain transfer.
yeah. Well, then that's the thing too, is like when he later at the end of the of this section, when she's Beverly standing there and he grabs onto her arm, it's like even more shocking because like he didn't have that arm.
Oh, well, yeah, they did a bad job of
Right.
conveying that that was like a major thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. So we have that whole scene where she's trying to take care of him. We go up to the bridge, and then Picard is holding that part of the computer system from the escape pod.
Yeah.
And until they explained what it was, I was like, why does he have that in his hands? And they're like talking,
Oh,
and I was
when
like,
they're holding it in 10 forward, again, I thought it was like a weird like fruit or something.
oh,
And Jory was like, "Yeah, I love these fruits now. I don't even know where they're from, but the computer synthesized it for me."
yeah, that's funny. That's really funny. Yeah, I was wondering what it was. Like, what did the prop people use to make it? But yeah.
That's obviously a shuttle pod dampening radiation control nodular, obviously.
Very true.
From
Yeah.
the L Benzo or whatever the what's the
Yeah.
shuttle pod?
Elbaz.
Elbaz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a funny Mystery Theater 3000 bit that I was
Yes.
thinking. So we cut back from the bridge where they discussed like that this is like a weird computer system thing. And it shows Beverly standing and she's like looking at the wall, at this like medical wall, and she's like thinking. And this other
Hmm.
nurse comes up and hands her like a glass. And then she's like, "Oh," and then she drinks it. And I just in my brain, and I wrote it here, was like, yes, Dr. Beverly, here's the patient's urine sample you requested." And then she's like, "Oh," like you're already drinking it. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
I like that. That was
yeah,
good.
yeah, it's just silly. Then we have another thing with Worf, which is totally fine, but it made me laugh, but as time went on, I was just like, they didn't have anything to do with Worf in this episode, so they just try to sprinkle them in where they can.
Yeah. Make him
And,
say funny thing about relationships.
right, and so the scene he's like, "Let's talk more synthahol," and I was
Yes.
like,
Yeah, that's
"What?"
how his character is. He's very
Yeah,
he hates talking about work and
yeah,
security stuff. Yeah.
and it's like also they're trying to like work out the problem of this computer system, and he's like, "I don't want to talk about that."
Thought we
We
came here to drink
right,
non-alcoholic beverages.
right. I was
Oh
just
yeah.
okay. And I feel like I missed a little bit of a time jump because he leaves to go talk to Christy Henshaw, I think, or whatever her name is.
Yep.
And Worf makes the comment that, like, I've tutored him and he's doing quite well. And I was like, when has he tutored him? Hasn't it only
Uh,
been like an hour or two?
he's literally applying to data that before he beamed down to the planet,
Worf was like,
you need to talk to her and be better with ladies. And that
Oh.
was like that was all he needed.
That's true. That's a good point. He does kind of say that to him. Yeah, I guess
It's very
that's
funny. He's basically gloating to Data about it. If that's the whole. That's how I took it. I thought, and that
that's
made it even funnier to
interesting.
me that like he's such a master with women.
That's interesting.
that just yelling at Jordy about like you're an idiot. Like, that's all it took.
That's so funny. I didn't even think about that. That is a good point. That's funny. That's
That's
more
why I
fun.
thought it was so
That's more
funny
funny
because
than
oh man.
yeah.
Even like Worf in that scene is like surprised that Jordy's going up to like talk to her on his own, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's doing quite well actually. Like even he's surprised. You may hear that line again.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. So then we cut back to to sick bay again, and
Wait, wait, wait.
where am I? He
Who am
has
I?
amnesia.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Yeah, if
I'm
it's not
alive. Thank you. But who am I? Like, oh,
yep. If the alien isn't possessing people and take inserting their personalities over the other person's personalities, they
yeah.
don't know who they are. It's one or the
It's always
other.
like a super powerful alien
Yep.
that has to regain his memory and control these new powers for the first time.
Yep. So we get our third guest appearance of the episode. We get Mark Lamura, who sadly died in 2017 of lung cancer at the age of 68.
Hmm.
He's playing John Doe here. He is,
Yeah,
yeah, they don't name him, so he just
I
stays John
like
Doe.
I
Yeah.
like that they still use the John Doe system.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Z- His, yeah, any unidentified person, it's like, well, that's Zarian Rib. It's like, yeah, jeez, we don't know. It's like,
How do you know John?
yeah, he's a character actor, and I guess probably maybe for folks out there, he's most notably known for playing Mark Dalton for 11 years on All My Children.
Mm, good stuff.
Great stuff. Yeah, so we come back from commercial break. He's having a neurofibro waves machine test done to
Hmm.
him. It was
As
like
you do, as you do.
he's just sitting in the chair and these lasers are like meow, 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 meow. It was just like, oh, are they healing him? And then she kind of doesn't tell you what they're doing. She just
Isn't that what
says
the last week's episode? Isn't that like what they were doing to Luxano when she was in the chair?
the mind probe, yeah.
Hmm. Same
Yeah,
thing.
it was interesting. She puts the things over his arms and his legs to help him walk, and he walks a little bit. But the thing that I was most interested in and was like keyed into was the fact that they say here, at least in this part, and they might have said it earlier with the Geordie Data stuff that I just missed, but they say that a month has passed.
Oh yeah.
And I seriously think that that's one of Star Trek's, at least Next Gen's, problems that they
Mm,
don't do enough of is allow things to breathe.
yeah.
Because normally the way this episode plays out, it would just be this, and you'd be like, "Why is he doing that? Why is this like this? How nobody would ever be like that." In a short amount of time, but it's like, oh well, a month
We
has
don't.
passed. It's like, oh well, that
And
makes more sense.
that's the thing too, is like I don't know. I'm not always a fan of like time jumps. It's like if you can't explain what's happening other than just by saying like, and then 3 years have gone by. It's like,
Okay,
okay. And Dragon Ball Z does it a lot too, but
yeah,
I guess it's just one of those things too. It's like I don't really want to see him like progressing slowly every day, being like, well, I can take
right,
2 steps today.
exactly.
So I get that. But I think what it does do sometimes is like if you miss that line, then it's
Mm-hmm.
even more like confusing sometimes. So like Picard comes in and he's like, "Oh, Captain, nice to see you." And it was like, how does he know that this is the captain? This is the first time I've seen them two in the same room.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And then it was like, and then Beverly's like, "Well, I do really like this guy." And I'm like, he's been here like a day. But then you're like, "Oh no, it's been over a month." I feel like sometimes that like rushes.
It does. No, it totally does.
It rushes stuff, rushes relationships, that kind of stuff.
I agree with you. I don't disagree that like time jumping and then just being like characters are completely different from the last 30 seconds that we saw them. I don't disagree that that is jarring and like convenient way to write new material for characters. Is just like, well, we just didn't see that progress, and now they're like this. But at the same time, I do also feel like there are examples where the episode would benefit from a time jump of
Right.
instead of like, because a lot of times what they do is
Oh,
what you were saying
yeah.
is we cut like now, right? Okay, this scene in this lab happens, and then we cut to the turbo lift, and Jordy and Christy are smooching each other, and you're like, okay, so it's been what, an overnight? Like we saw them in 10 forward, an overnight happened, and now it's the morning, and they're all making out in the turbo lift, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, that's really fast. But now,
Yeah, but then Riker says, like,
right.
you
Yeah.
guys have been doing a lot. And he's like, yeah, every night this week. You're like, all right. So it's been a week, but it's actually been more than a week.
Right, because he says, I don't know, in the turbo left scene, he says, yeah, he goes, I don't know what it's in. He says, but this last month I've been feeling blah, blah, whatever. I've been feeling really
Oh,
good.
that's right. Yeah, he does say that.
So,
It's interesting. I think to your point, what you're referring to is episodes where, like, so use this one for example, where Picard's like, you can't just Data, you can't just build a daughter.
yeah, right.
You know,
Yes.
it's against all these laws, and it doesn't, and she's not going to be on the ship till like 2 hours later when the admiral comes over. And he's like, "Well, you can't just take her off the ship. She's a living being. You can't do that." And it's like, why? How did he flip so quickly?
Exactly.
So more time would benefit scenes like that for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. It was a big thing because, like, I agree with you that even the scene where it's Wesley and Beverly in their quarters for dinner, and she's like, I don't have romantic feelings for him, but I do like really like him a lot, and all these things. It's like it's a convenient way to just be like, well, over a month has passed. And
Yeah,
it's like she spent so much time with this guy. You're like, oh, okay. But for us viewers, it's like 3 minutes have passed.
yeah.
So
That's a weird scene anyway, but
it is.
that's just me.
It's a super weird scene. Yeah, there was something I read in trivia. If I don't talk about it in trivia, I'll just tell you. But I was reading it and I was just like, okay. I was just like, I
Hmm.
didn't get that at all, but whatever. So we see, like we talked about, we see Jordy and Christy smooching in the turbo lift. Riker gives them a little bit of the business, but not too badly. And then we go into sick bay, and yeah, here's our fourth guest appearance of the episode, Colin Meaney, still alive at 72. He's got a dislocated shoulder from kayaking.
Mm-hmm.
Wesley talks to the alien man, all these things, and then he goes over and heals O'Brien. I don't
Yep.
know. It just happened. All I did was touch him.
Yeah. I don't believe that O'Brien kayaks, but that's just me.
No?
Mm-mm. Not in that either.
Well,
Certainly not. That was funny.
you might be disappointed.
It's just funny too. They're like, "Oh, you're kayaking again?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, all right. Well, that's the first I've heard about it as the audience, so that's fun.
That's how we introduce it, just in
Yeah.
slow passing moments.
I also enjoy that they have to specify it for the audience that he was in the holodeck.
Yeah, he wasn't just like
Yeah.
kayaking out in space.
He's like, "Yeah, I was kayaking in the holodeck on deck 3, you know?" Yes.
Those computer simulating machine rooms.
Like, yes. Yes, O'Brien, you could have just told me you hurt your shoulder kayaking and I would have understood because I also am aboard this ship.
I've seen it. Yeah. Now, at this point, you must have known that, like, now it's something he's not like putting more of himself and other people. Like, now he's
Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, honestly, as soon as he woke up on the table,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, so he's not in Geordie, so that's good.
Oh, true. That's, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So, really funny part, you go up to the bridge, and Data's at the back computer wall, and Geordi comes up to him, and then there's just that very convenient shelf on the computer wall so he can place the computer thing, like, on it.
Oh, yeah.
And later it becomes, in their conversation, it becomes relevant, like, well, that's a thing that they put on it so that the computer can, like, access it and, like, read it. I get it. But it's like, why would that just be... we don't ever see it in any other shot where somebody's at the back wall doing something and then there's like a computer like analyzer shelf like
Yeah.
tray thing.
That's because they didn't need it until now.
Exactly. But for all of the pooping on it just now, I really enjoyed them figuring out that the computer capsule thing was like flight paths and all that stuff, and like how they go from this is what I think it is to do this computer when the computer shows it, and then they're like, okay, we'll match this up. It doesn't match up. Okay, we'll give these readings like this. And if these readings are like this, then do this, then do this, then make this thing. Yeah, it just was like,
Yeah.
I enjoy it because one, I like all that kind of stuff, but two, like they let you go through the process of seeing how they do it rather than them just coming up, Jordy just coming up to the bridge and being like, yep, we figured it out. It operates like a cell of the body and it's a flight path, and here's where he's from. And
Yeah.
Picard's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I like it too. I thought that was good.
Yeah, and then we go back down to this lab thing. They tell our alien friend here that they found where he's got to go, and he's like, please don't send me back there, please. And they're like, why? Why can't we? And he's like, I don't know. Just don't do it. I'm so scared and sad and angry about it. Why? I don't know. And then his chest glows.
He's
And
evolving.
yeah, and when this happened, this is just what I thought of. So you guys go down to the comment section and write Senator Kelly from X-Men, the movie,
Oh my god.
because this is the halfway point. So we come back from that commercial break. The alien guy explains his body's going on a journey. We get a lot more glowing.
I thought that like the closer that ship was getting to them, the more he was being like affected.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I thought maybe that's why he was like so worried about it, and then that's why he was like, I have to get off the ship. I have to leave. I have to get like further away
Yeah.
from the ship, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, basically, like you said, he tries to get away, and we see a second level shuttle bay, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, the computer.
Yep.
Get away from that computer.
Get away from the computer. Oh, ah!
Man, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Oh, he has a broken neck. He's not. He's dead.
He's dead. Like, oh, okay. Nice.
And then he just comes over and he's like, "Oh, what?"
Be healed.
I know that it would have derailed the whole episode, and it would have been like you're now ham-fisting a completely new plot into this show, and you only have like 11 minutes to wrap everything up or whatever.
Yeah.
But I definitely think it would have been interesting, at the very least, if when the alien guy here, John Doe, heals Worf, and Worf is like angry that he didn't just let him die because
Oh my gosh, yeah.
like he died in the line of duty. Now maybe it wasn't an honorable death, getting flung over a railing by an alien like mutating and you broke your neck like on the shuttle bay floor. Like I get that maybe not honorable Klingon death, but I was thinking, wouldn't he have still hated the fact of like not being dead? Because that's kind of like the point.
Yeah.
But it's all right.
Not anymore. He's not Klingon anymore.
That's true. There it is. That's all you had to say. Now all of my opinions have changed.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was really funny. I was writing the part where he's sitting at the chair and he's getting the lasers in his arms, and we see Geordi and Christy in the turbo lift, and he heals O'Brien, and then they talk at the back wall about the computer capsule, and then they go and talk to him in the lab, and he tells them, please don't go to the planet yet, like, give me time. I got to a point where I was like, did I miss a commercial break? Because that was like a very long section, and then we get to the next section, and it's like, just was like him saying, like, I can't do it. My body's changing. It's on a journey. I can't explain it. I don't know what's going on. And then it was just like, Worf broke his neck. Next commercial break. And I was just like, oh. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you had to get there. You had to get to the broken neck part before you could sell ads.
Yeah. So, commercial break after healing Worf, come back. For me, and I'm not discrediting how you feel about it.
Okay.
It's just probably just a personal preference thing for myself. But I found it to be a little boring that this alien guy is just so unhelpful and such an amnesiac. Because there's that scene where
Yeah.
now they're in the ready room with Picard, and Picard's asking him questions, and he's just like, I don't know. And they're like, oh, okay. They're like, do you know anything? And he's like, no.
Nah, I couldn't tell you one way or the other.
Yeah, and it's just like we're at the end of the episode. We know very little about this guy, and I get it. I get the whole point. I get that that's like part of the intrigue of the episode is the fact that like we don't know anything about him, and like what is going on with the guy, and why can he do this, and so on and so forth. But I think it's just for me. I just didn't find him that. I didn't find it that compelling to leave him so mysterious. And
Yeah.
maybe that's for me as a viewer already have seen it. Like I know where it goes, so I'm just like, okay. Like I don't know. It was just a weird. I wrote it in my notes. I was just like, this is kind of boring. At the point where they're in the ready room. Like up to that, I wasn't. I didn't think that.
No, I agree with that.
Because I think too, it was just like he was like, I don't agree with that. I don't think things should be like that. You can't take me back to my planet. And they'd be like, why? And he'd be like, I don't know. And then they'd be like, so can you do this thing? No, I don't know anything about that. And then like a scene later,
No.
he'd be like, no, I know, I remember all these things. I had a terrifying moment of clarity. And they're like, what did you learn? He's like, I don't know. And you're like, okay,
Yes, he was. He did do that a lot. Yes.
yeah.
Yep.
But we learned from our last guest appearance of the episode, we learned that this quote unquote John Doe, which still is not named by the persons chasing him, he's labeled as a Zelkonian criminal.
Criminal.
Yeah, and our guest appearance individual who's playing Sunad is Charles Dennis, who's currently 79. He's a character actor, and we have seen him before. Caleb, in his private watching of Star Trek Enterprise, has seen this actor before. He notably played Chancellor Trellit in the episode Desert Crossing. So,
Oh,
yep,
the best uniforms you've ever seen in any Star
yep,
Trek.
exactly. There's a double blink and you'll miss it scene where T'Pol is reaching out to the government of like it's not the Zelkonians, but it's something
Yeah.
like that. It's like the Zarnians.
And they're like, we're not doing nothing.
Yeah, he's a criminal. Your people shouldn't have hung out with him because he's a bad guy. Well, that's the same. He plays like almost like the identical character in
Yeah.
Enterprise, pretty much.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah. And so we have an interesting scene after we learn of all this information about John Doe from this Sunad character that they have that scene in the conference room where basically Beverly brings up the major moral point. They say a lot of stuff in the scene, but the major moral point is, so what was the point of healing him? Did they only save this John Doe alien so that other people could execute him? Like the moral dilemma of that. And I don't know. I typically side with Picard on most of those things, but I kind of get her point.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like obviously I mean, I like it because it is a moral dilemma. It's like, well, these
Yeah,
aliens have their own law,
right,
and it's not your business. It's none of your business.
right, right,
You don't police the galaxy. But the other dilemma is just like, well, they're wrong,
right.
And I think
I think it's a thing where she's arguing, like, so we did all of this just so he could die. Like, hey, we did all of this recuperating, all of this rehabilitating, all of this life saving measures just so that
yeah.
he could die. Like, what was the point then?
Yeah, it's stupid. I like Beverly's argument. I just wish she wasn't like in love with the guy. That's the only
Yeah, I totally
because
agree.
Picard's line there is like, hey, look, so like we're just discussing all options like we always do, Beverly.
Right,
So don't let your like emotional involvement get in the middle of it.
right. Because we're
And
just
you're like,
talking.
yeah.
Yeah, because Picard in this scene is not like making a decision. He was just like, we're just talking about it.
Yeah, and then she always has to be like, you're not honestly thinking. He's like, I'm thinking about all options. I'm the captain. That's what we do. That's what we always do. That's what these meetings are for. You've been in a lot of them. That's what they're for. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry that this one affects your boyfriend, but let's all just shut up and talk it through, idiot. But I already
Well,
told Wesley it was his new dad.
he healed my broken heart. Well, that sounds like it's time for trivia.
Oh, not again. All right, now you're overacting.
So this was the second episode, as mentioned, written by Rene Echeverria. He recalls, after selling The Offspring to the show, I went back to New York, and Michael called me a couple weeks later and said he had a story that was dead in the water. It was a premise they had bought involving us finding some crashed ship on a little moon, and there's a man who's basically dead, and we use miraculous 24th century medicine and bring him back to life. We practically grow him back, but who is he and what's the story? I thought about it for a while and came up with the basic idea of Transfigurations, that someone was evolving out of their human form into an energy being. We've seen both of those stories before, but we've never seen the intermediate step. And then he continues, after completing the first draft, Echeverria was called back to help on the rewrite, which was divided by acts among the writing staff. The script then received a polish by Michael Piller. And Michael Piller comments, we wanted to do a show where we get to see 20th century medicine up close and personal. Beverly Crusher uses all her skills to save an alien, reconstructing him and putting him back together and sort of falling in love with him. It's a very spiritual kind of show. So, in the other book that I read for trivia, they comment on the fact that they wanted it to be like a love story for Beverly and like this big thing for Medbay. And when I was reading it, I was like, it's like if you're telling me this is supposed to be a love story for Beverly and like a highlight on the medical system, you did not accomplish that goal. Granted, it's interesting how they bring him back, and it's interesting in that opening sequence. And yes, they spend a lot of time like rehabilitating him and like reconstituting him, but that's not the focus of the episode.
No.
And also, like, if it's supposed to be like a romance thing between the two characters, like it's very subtle, and it's only a couple lines in the episode that make you go like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I don't care for it.
There's just interesting bits in the book here. They talked about how Ira Stephen Bear, he usually brought scripts that were submitted from outside of the writer's room, open submission policy stuff, that usually Ira Stephen Bear would give a pass on it and like rewrite anything that didn't make sense. And then Michael Piller, like they would alternate. Either Ira Bear would do it or Michael Piller would do it. And they got their hands on this one and they did a rewrite of it. But then he ends up leaving the show. This is the last rewrite that Ira Bear did for Next Gen. And it talks about like his path down the road because he ends up becoming something that I don't want to talk about right now. That was kind of an interesting read. Hopefully, if I remember when we get there, I'll circle back and read what he says. Because it says, like, 2 years later, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, we're not, if it's 2 years later, I'm not talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's what, I think this is what Renee is saying. He says, it was from Michael Piller, and he told me, hey, I meant what I said. I thought your spec script was one of the best I've ever read, and that you choked on the rewrite. He's talking about Offspring. But I'm going to give you a shot at something. We've got a story no one seems to be able to crack. There's not much to it, just a notion. We want to do a medical show. We want it to be about Beverly. Then find a guy on an asteroid or a planet or a crashed spaceship. Half his body's gone. There's no way he's going to survive. And she saves him. That's all we've got. And I said, okay. So, like, my point of bringing it up is, like, that's what they intended. That's how they were, like, looking at the episode. And I was like, the rewrite has that in there, but it's so different than what they present.
Yeah.
The scene with the John Doe alien transformed was in fact done live with only minor post-production touch-up. The actor Mark Lamura wore a fluorescent orange suit that glowed on special film he used.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get back to our review. The episode here marks the first time we see the large laboratory set, which was pretty cool. It appears to have been built in the space opposite the corridor from the transporter room, where Counselor Troy's office and other swing sets were made up as needed. And then the last little bit was there's a large transparent interface seen on the bridge of the Zelkonian warship, which we've previously seen on the surface of Ryza in the teaser of Captain's Holiday, so that thing that the Forgons were looking at.
Yeah.
And then also a second display that is seen behind the Ryzian one that we just mentioned also appeared in Picard's alternate ready room in yesterday's Enterprise. So very cool. And close out trivia with these two pictures. One is obviously LeVar Burton and Julie Warner talking with Tom Benko, the director. So you get to see all those people behind the scenes just talking.
Why is he in a lab coat?
I don't know. I would assume that's just LeVar Burton just wearing clothes like in between filming, or it is a deleted scene. And we didn't see that. Because it kind of also seems like they're in quarters or something.
Yeah, it does.
Or like 10 forward or something. So could be just a deleted scene. And then you can kind of see here in the second picture, you can just barely tell, but so he's all messed up. You can see the brain, you can see the molars, his thing. But if you look down, you can kind of see that his arm doesn't quite continue. Like it's an amputated arm.
Yeah, see that. Do you think that's an actor, or do you think that's like prosthetics on like a doll?
I think when you look, if you zoom in and look at that face, that it's not Mark Lamura. It's probably some individual who sadly has an amputated arm, and they just body doubled him.
Interesting.
Yeah, thought you'd appreciate seeing those two pictures. So we come out of trivia, and I don't know, man. This to me was crazy. This was just like literally high octane cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs of an ending. Because they're like, we're going to take you now. And it's like, no, you're not going to. And then the guy just looks over and he just presses a couple buttons. And it's like, nobody can breathe on the Enterprise anymore. And it's like, what is even happening?
Yeah, that was crazy.
And then as the rest of the section concluded, I was like, are they saying that their people have abilities like what's his name, this John Doe character, so like they can alter the physical reality space of everything, or
yeah, that's legitimately what I thought.
Right, and that's what I was like, okay, but like why would the guy have to interact with the computer in any way? Like I don't understand. Like it was so weird. They don't explain at all how the Enterprise air is being depleted or being changed with some other gas. I like they don't explain it.
Right, because he wasn't affected at all.
Right. And the other weird thing is he just goes and heals, like you see it when he touches Beverly, her like chest, her lungs like heal. But it's like, but if there's another gas or no air on the ship, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I was very confused.
So it's like, is the weapon that they're using like scarring their lungs and they can't physically breathe because like they're damaging their internal organs? Like I don't know. It was crazy.
I was confused by that scene.
Yeah. And then immediately when he heals Beverly, he's like, I remember everything. I'm like, of course you do. Of course you remember everything. Nothing.
Well, yeah, it's the end of the episode.
Yeah, I was like, nothing has changed at all. And you remember everything now. And he was like, perfect. And then he goes over to the wall console and then just heals the entire ship. And I was just like, here we go, baby. Here we go. Just like, you know, those big bows that they put on like brand new cars when they're like, look, honey, I bought you a new whatever. And there's a huge bow. I was just like, yep, here it is, baby. Here it is. And for all, it's like I don't want to crap on it too bad. And I get it. I get that it was probably a really cool effect to do in camera with no real post-production things back in the night.
But it's clearly just a dude in like a full body spandex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, oh, wow, he becomes a glowing green screen alien. I think it would have been better or more interesting or less like take me out of it if I didn't see his like head dimple for the suit.
Yeah.
Like the little bunching up of like the suit that he's clearly in is like all
Yeah.
at the top, and I'm just like, you can tell it's a dude in a full body thing. Yeah, it's all right. I don't know. He brings that guy over and he's like, how dare you? This is what you're going to become. How dare you try to kill me? And if you try to tell other people that this isn't real, I'll just kill you.
Yeah. I like how he beams him over with like magical powers, and the guy's like, don't listen to him, he's a liar. They don't have powers. Like, okay.
All right,
All right,
dude.
dude.
Yeah. All of this insanity just happens, and then he's like, so long, everyone. Thank you for your help. I'm a wonderful, powerful being now. Goodbye. And I said, oh, look, Caleb's favorite, a ball of energy alien.
A ball of energy. I got to see an alien become a Q. It was great.
I just thought, oh, man. When I saw him turn into the ball of light and him go out of the Enterprise and just float away, and it was like, da 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 da. I was just like, Caleb's out. He's out. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a pretty rough ending.
it shocked me so much of like how off the wall it gets. But whatever, it is what it is. I think what confused me the most, I mean, him becoming all powerful and he can transport people through shields and rematerialize them, and he turns into a glowing like humanoid, but he was just maintaining that physical shape for the benefit of those around him because his new form is really just a ball of light. Whatever. Like, I can deal with that because that's very Star Trek trope stuff. But to me, the whole like Enterprise doesn't have everybody's dying, and then he just touches like a wall panel and everybody on the ship is healed. I was just like, okay, you haven't explained either thing to me, so I can't take the ride.
It all happened so fast. Every time that like we've met a light ball alien, they're always like, "Oh yeah, it took us like millennia
Yeah,
to reach this point of." So he's just like an alien, but then he glows and then he becomes light
yeah.
all within like 10 minutes. Like, oh, okay. Well, that was cool.
Well, that was our review of the episode. But before we conclude and talk about next week's episode, let's do the thing that everyone's been waiting for.
Caleb. 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 Caleb.
So, Caleb, who gets the Erica Ortegas Award for being the most unlikable?
I don't like the alien guy that shows up in the ship
Okay, yeah.
at the end.
Yep,
You know,
yep. Sunad or whatever his name was. Yeah, it's good.
don't like him.
Oh, you think that's interesting? Well, he's a criminal. Kill him. Bring him to me so I can kill him. I like that Picard makes a really like halfway decent argument with the guy, and he's just like, no. Like,
Yeah.
like well,
He's like, well, we saved him. He's like, don't care. It's like, okay, well, he doesn't have any memories. It doesn't matter.
right. Like, well, could you
Well-
help us in any way to like kind of understand what's going on and like help us feel better with our conscience of like returning him to you? Nope.
No, we're gonna
Oh.
execute him. He probably won't even make it back to the planet. Like, okay, well, the last thing you should know is that like he has like powers, and I'm like, no, what kind of powers? Oh, he's like healing people like Jesus, and he's like, nope, false prophet, deserves to die, deserves to be dead. Like, oh, okay.
Destroy him. Well, very good. Next is the Elizabeth Cutler Award for being the most forgettable character of the episode.
Guinan.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's good.
We spent a lot of time in 10 forward this week.
Nobody cares.
No Guinan.
That's because she would have helped Jordy actually be good with the ladies and not have Worf just be like, you're stupid. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yep.
I like it. Well, next is the Mugatu Award for the best alien of the episode.
You can give it to the main guy, John Doe. He was good. I liked his design.
Yeah, his prosthetic stuff was actually not too bad. I mean, obviously, the humanoid thing is overdone, but I enjoyed his prosthetics. All right, well, next is the Trip Tucker Award for the MVP of the episode.
I think it was John Doe.
Ooh, double John Doe.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because he healed everybody's breathing.
So, okay, so is it fair to say best alien was like injured, recuperating, rehabilitating John Doe, and then the MVP is like humanoid light
Yeah.
form
God
John Doe?
mode
Yeah.
John Doe.
Okay. That's really funny, actually. Very good. Next is the Spock Award for the best line of the episode.
That is Worf when he says, I've been tutoring him.
That's good.
It's my favorite line.
That's really good. I enjoyed that. That's funny. Worf has some good lines. That'll definitely be right here where it says delicious with the Dunkin' Donuts thing. That'll be
Yeah,
visible here because that's a great one-liner.
that's a good one.
All right. Well, next is the Shran Award for the best action sequence.
It's when Worf flies over the railing.
Yeah, we also don't get an explanation of what makes him fly over the railing, but when it happens good.
Yeah, you don't need an explanation.
I can't remember in the scene when Worf gets hit by this weird energy pulse thing. Does the stuntman is he like jumping backwards and then his leg like catches the railing and he like flips? I can't remember.
Yeah. I think this stunt guy legitimately just dives off and flips over.
Okay.
It was really like it was like really quick and sudden.
I don't wish to harm you, but you must return to sickbay immediately.
He was like, "Oh no, light!" And then he was like, "Ah!"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
It was pretty crazy. But it's good. It's good. Well, next is the NX-01 award for some sweet ship stuff.
I like the lab. I like seeing the lab.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. I like that. So yeah, the lab is definitely a good one. Well, next is the Porthos Award for the cheesiest thing of the episode.
It's definitely the breathing thing. I still don't understand how
Yeah, I don't know.
nobody could breathe on the ship.
I wonder if the synopsis on Memory Alpha like explains it in any way. It probably doesn't, but just in the off chance. This is what it says. Declaring that Doe has quote unquote corrupted the Enterprise crew as well, Sunad motions to his bridge crew, and the Zelkonian ship creates some kind of effect that causes every member of the crew to suffocate.
Excellent.
Brother. It's
That's horrible.
it's terrible.
Because of plot, nobody can breathe on the ship.
During an extended sequence of plot.
That's a good use of our Beverly. Remember that meme I sent you of Beverly with the scanner?
Oh yeah, what was
It's
it?
just like it's much worse than we thought. And then the scanner says plot.
Next and lastly is the Star Trek Enterprise Award for the best scene of the episode.
We can give it to Picard when he's talking to the aliens on the bridge.
Okay, yeah.
And he's like arguing why like they're not going to give him over. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The whole Troy thing where it's like, no, they're very confused by why you're not just turning this guy over. It's like, yeah,
Wow.
we got that out of you, Troy. We understood that part.
They seem like they want to kill him,
Right.
but they're also scared of him and they don't want you to have him.
Really?
Wow. It's a good thing we keep you on board. I forgot you even here.
Your insight on these matters are revolutionary. Well, that is what Caleb thought of the episode. We appreciate him taking his time to award sections of this episode with our little trophy system. It's been an ongoing thing for quite a long time, and yeah, we have a episode dedicated to looking back. We use those as like touchstones to remember the season and have nice little callbacks from things that happened and discuss them at greater length. So we appreciate you guys sticking around for that. But now it's your turn to let us know what you thought of the episode. Write your own review down below. If you're a Patreon, we'll read it during another recording. But if you're just a subscriber to the YouTube, leave it down there as well. Because Caleb and I may read it on our other series, Hailing Frequencies Open, where we read your comments and discuss them. So don't be shy. Let us know what you think, because we want to know whether or not you liked it, or if you loved it, or if you wanted more of it. Or did you find that there were just too many transfigurations to this script? Let us know down below.
Next time on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, lass and laddies, we have reached the episode where most of you are excited to watch. And next week's episode will, in fact, be episode 26, the season finale of season 3 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. And that episode is entitled The Best of Both Worlds.
Because it's the best of both worlds.
Yep, exactly.
Because you know it's the best of both worlds. That's good stuff.
Yeah, so we have that to look forward to. We'll put it out there again as a reminder that next week on the 19th, Caleb, myself, and a guest will live stream our review of that episode.
Yeah. And our episode of Dragon Ball Z will be out same day. So watch it after.
Yeah. So we'll do that. It might be a new thing that we try going forward with the seasons, is live stream the finale, where we can get some live. You guys can come in and talk on the comments. We can have a more of a lively discussion. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll hopefully do it on a Sunday afternoon, like that's typical when the episodes come out. So we'll hopefully stick to that schedule. But as we get closer, everybody who's involved in the filming process will know whether or not they're able to commit to it. Yeah, so we have that episode to look forward to. That should be fun. I think Caleb will really like it. I don't care if it's spoiling him by saying he'll enjoy the episode. I don't care. But now the episode's over with. If you enjoyed our review of this episode, please like the video. If you disliked our review of this episode, please dislike their video. Share it with all your friends and family and Trek enthusiasts. Subscribe so you don't miss a review, and ring that bell so you can watch a review as soon as it hits the channel. And then, when you're done watching Star Trek: The Next Generation reviews or other reviews of Star Trek, you can always head on over to Caleb's channel. Caleb has a fun prop tutorial channel where he makes things from pop culture, whether it's a helmet, a weapon, or some armor, anything like that. He makes it out of foam, which you can buy yourself and make in the luxury of your own home. But he also prints out 3D statues and busts and things of that nature and paints them.
Big busts.
Huge busts. If you like watching somebody paint and have some relaxing atmosphere while you maybe eat some lunch, or maybe do something and put that on in the background, those type of videos are perfect for it. He puts on some nice music, and you watch him go from start to finish. But, as Caleb already mentioned, on every single month of the year, on the 19th, a new episode from our other subcategory on his channel called The Nerd Holes, we review episodes of Dragon Ball Z. And, as it happens to be, we are up to our eyeballs in the Cell games. So we'll see what those are continuing to be about here in April. So make sure you go over there, find a video that you like, and like it. Leave a comment on how you thought about how he made it. Leave a suggestion of something for him to make. Give him ideas. Say, hey, you know what I'd like to see you make? Blank. And he'll do it. He loves doing it. Share it with people that you think would appreciate it. Maybe send it to somebody who who goes to the conventions. give them ideas of how to make the thing that they want. But ultimately, on whatever option you decide, at least please subscribe. We appreciate Edmark Star and Captain Olimar once again for their Patreon support. We appreciate those guys, their generosity and their kindness. It's fun to send out all of those sticker designs that Caleb makes for being a part of our support system here. And so, until next week's episode of The Best of Both Worlds, or we'll live stream it, we'll do it live. And so, computer, create a list of all Star Trek episodes we should rewatch before season 4.
No.
What? What?
Yes. We've done it, brother. We've done it. We've taken control of the Retrack Review.